Hello everybody, Rusty Blackwood here, and welcome to my loft for my Valentine's Day presentation here for you. Um, I am joined by Dream, the little kitty that is here also. The last time I made a video you met George, um, very robust cat, whereas Dream is a little bit more laid back. She's not quite so, you know, in your face and bound and bent that she's going to force herself on you regardless, whereas George is George is very much that way. Whatever George wants to do, George seems to do, and regardless, but I do have my water bottle handy up here should I need it, and you may see George come bounding through at any given moment because he has free range in the whole house. And so here we are, February 13th, 2023. And it is, still is, and has been so far today, another very nice day. We've actually had blue skies the last couple of days that lasted for the majority of the day, which nowadays is something of its own. But we give thanks that we have it, and we'll take advantage and enjoy it. That is for sure. Um, I don't know what everybody does on their Valentine's Day. I know that it is primarily looked at as, the day for couples, whether they be married or whether they're just, a couple together. Um, but, and definitely the day of love. Um, but I don't know that not everybody is in a relationship, and not everybody has that special someone to spend the day with. And so, and for those of you who don't have that, special person in your life, you can still, you have yourself. And I think first and foremost, you have to, well, first and foremost, you love God, and Jesus. And, but you have to love yourself. And I think if you can't love yourself, then naturally you're not going to be as happy as you could be. And so I hope that you look at yourself and smile and know that when it boils right down to the real nitty gritty, you can depend on you and nobody else. And you're going to be there for yourself throughout the duration. And so I was sort of contemplating earlier what I was going to do today for this Valentine's video. I hope to keep it fairly short because I find that if my videos get to be anywhere near 30 minutes, they just take so very long to upload, and so and I think it tends to lose people's interest as well, and because for me, as I've said many times before, I don't work with a script. Like, I don't read from a script. It's just, coming off my head, and as I think of things to talk about. And so hopefully whatever I'm talking about you will find of interest, at least some of it, to some degree, at least I hope. And I hope you will leave a like at the bottom here and a comment at the bottom, and subscribe to my channel here. I have gotten one new subscriber since the last time, and whoever that is, because it doesn't tell you who it is, but whomever it is, welcome. I welcome you, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And so So as I said, when I was thinking about today and what I would like to say in the video, I decided that I was going to read a little bit of poetry. Um, really, what better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than some nice, heartfelt poetry? And hopefully, you will be entertained by it. It is not downhearted. It is lighthearted because I write different, both traditional and contemporary poetry, and depending on how I'm feeling at the time that I write it, is gives you the end result of the poem the way it turns out. So I'm going to read from my second collection called Impressions. I don't know if you can see it without the glare on it. And just a simple scene. It's at the sea and the seashore, and a lot of these poems I wrote in the early 2000s and put them in this collection. The very first collection of poetry I did was called Feelings, a Rhythmic Journey in Thought, and that was discontinued I published it in 2009 through Ex Libris Publishing, and then decided I wasn't satisfied with the finished product. It wasn't what it was hyped up to be to me before it was even published of the way it was going to be. And that's the nice thing about being an independent author, because you own the rights to your work. And whereas if you're under contract to a house, a standard house, you sign your rights away in return for the contract, but you also sign your rights away, so you have no further say on what happens with your work. They can do whatever they wish to do to it, and your name is still on the title. So oftentimes this is what you're judged by. Your name is on the title, and the content that's between the cover, the front and back cover, is what you're judged on. And so, if you hold your own rights, you can change it. You can do whatever you choose to do at your own discretion. Not have it changed for you, where you no longer have any say about it, or what happens to it, or if they change it and you're not in agreement with it. There's, you signed your rights. There's nothing you can do. And so I'm going to read a few poems that I went through and checked out. A lot of the poetry that is in Impressions here was in Feelings to begin with, and I just took a lot of them and put them in this collection and republished them as Impressions. I do plan to do one more poetry collection of poems that I've written since these, of course, and they are on my official poetry channel called Inspiration in Thought. So if you Google Inspiration in Thought, Rusty Blackwood, it will take you right there, and you may read the selection of poetry that I put up for people's enjoyment. And do click on the accompanying music below. I mean, I don't own the rights to that, the music that is used to accompany each poem, and I state that clearly, for my own protection, because I don't own the copyright to the music, and so therefore, if I don't put a disclaimer up, I can basically I can get sued. So please scroll to the bottom where you can click on the music that is accompanying each poem, and enjoy the music and enjoy the words that you're going to read. So I'm going to begin my very first poetry reading here, or my very first poem that I wrote. It's a very early poem, and I wrote this in 2002. And I always put little footnotes at the bottom. Most often I do. Not always, but most of the time I do. And so, cheers, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. This is always a nice way to begin. Choke. But I just need to clear my... When you are with me in my videos, you are with reality. You are with life as it happens. And the footnote states, this poem was inspired by a childhood memory. At the far back of a windswept bean field stood the side hill on my grandpa's farm. Below this rocky, overgrown hill with its assorted weeds, clover, and straw-like grass was found the flats land which led to the meandering Thames River. As a child, I spent many afternoons upon this hill, rolling, climbing, exploring everything within, and simply simply laying in the grass, watching birds soar overhead and the clouds travel quickly. I loved this place. It was a time of innocence, a time I thought, like the hill itself, would never change. And is called Seasons of My Heart. Seasons of my heart are forever now, yet forever changing. They pass like wind through leaves that gently fall. They flutter to the ground and stay, while winds blow them all away. They rest upon the earth so cold, for they do not, nor will, grow old. They pass me by, yet stay with me. Time given is not long. They stay a while and bring a smile, then wither and they're gone. Like grass that sways upon the hill, they bend with time, yet stand so still. The seasons change, but not my heart. The movement caught in time. And as I say, this one was written in 2002. The second one I wish to read is called Colors of Emotion. And this one has no footnote. So when I get finished, if it comes back to me, the inspiration of how I come to write this as I read it, I'll speak on that. Like the dragon in the picture missing you, I too am sitting here alone, feeling blue, though he is green. And as he pines for happy times now gone, I also pine away my time for a darling little leprechaun, so I am blue. Dragons roar with fire hot and breath to melt the strongest steel, yet you take my breath away with just a mere smile, which makes me glow like coals of sultry amber. A dragon will embrace you with arms like electrified thistles, while your arms embrace me like sunbeams guiding a magic dawn, and I am consumed in clouds of blushing pink. A dragon is as mystic as the shores of Avalon, and you are like a shining knight with my Camelot, within my Camelot, and I am aglow in colors of emotion. So I'm not quite sure, it's not coming to me what really inspired that, whether it was a picture or another poem I had read, or sometimes in the nice weather I often just sort of sit out under the trees and listen to the wind and watch the movement of the leaves, and so it's just hard to say where it came from, but obviously it brought inspiration. Something brought me inspiration to write that, and I hope you enjoyed it. This next poem I'm going to read is called Unsuspecting Lovers of the Night. I wrote this in 2010, and the footnote is long-term love which has ground to an ultimate halt can elicit many emotions while it watches itself die. The worst of all is in knowing it could have simply been avoided, at the very least directed into a more peaceful demise. This poem really doesn't speak of any solid direction as such. It's just another release of unsettled feelings. Winter brought us together. We married in the spring, lived joyously 2 years and a day, when a baby boy came our way on wind which blew love never ending, until we reached the summit of our union. As days went by, the need to cry grew more with passing time, yet still we did not stop and think. All we did was fight and sink into an abyss which held no solace, no bottom for our feet. We moved along, the two of us propelled by hands unseen, yet ever present. They directed us to places far and wide without the need to ask why, when trust is lost and dispels all that may wish different. My love grows in leaps and bounds as days run long without a sound, nor the need to end in song, or pacify my hungry soul. You walked away. You left in haste with a hardened smile upon your face that lives in memory sealed within my passion and my need. Do you sleep in peaceful slumber? Are your dreams still free of plunder from those who steal for love of it? Then cast your heart into the pit where nothing lives for long. We once were happy, danced all night, our voices raised in lustful cry, until the night became the dawn, and focused on another song, the words of which we did not know, nor did we even try to learn. Now the melody plays no more. The groove is worn, the record broke. Yet still we walk, though different roads in life we take without a smile upon our face. For love has died and gone away, to practice for a brand new play for unsuspecting lovers of the night. This one, it's called A Rainy Day in Paris. This was one of my very favorite poems because, to begin with, I love Paris. I have never been there. At least I've never been there in my life as such, my present life. But I have always been drawn to it. Anything Parisian, I have always loved. It was the basis of how Passions in Paris came to be. Just my love for Paris, and researching everything about it so that I could write that novel as realistically as possible. So when you read it, and you're in Paris and you're going around Paris with Joy and Cully, you'll be able to visualize it, and if you were to compare it, Google map it or something, you would find that the streets you're going down and connecting to other streets are the way it would be if you were actually there. And so so I decided to write this poem called A Rainy Day in Paris. A rainy day in Paris is sunshine though unseen. You must forgive me here. I've got this ongoing cough. I was not feeling the best a while back, and this just seems to be lingering on and on and on. It's just phlegm that just keeps building and won't leave. So please do pardon me, but do bear with me. A rainy day in Paris is sunshine though unseen. It filters through the raindrops as they fall upon the Seine. And all the while the ferries float upon the ripples wide to bring the sights clear into view without the need to hide. A rainy day in Paris is still beauty at its best, for even though the raindrops fall, the city's filled with zest, and life upon the left bank, a painter's sheer delight, regardless of the time of day or hour of the night. A rainy day in Paris will fill you full of wonder as you stand within an Eiffel lift and listen to the thunder. And as you climb in height toward the summit of the tower, the lightning sears the sky above with shards of perfect fire. A rainy day in Paris is a special kind of place where the soul is filled with energy to light the dullest face. And laughter rings along with bells that toll upon the hour as Notre Dame sings out her songs so filled with heavenly power. A rainy day in Paris is a place I truly love, where people come together and listen to the doves. Their ages range from young to old, from babies up to grannies, and amour is everywhere, in every nook and every cranny. A rainy day in Paris is where I wish to be, beneath a blue umbrella with my amour next to me. For amour like ours is timeless and can never break apart, as we embrace within this city that is forever in my heart. And the footnote for that: Paris, the blissful city of light, known worldwide for its breathtaking scenery, sought-after wonderment, gregarious nightlife, and the gentle realization of simply being. I've researched it, written about it, but I've never been there, even though I feel as if I have, hopefully one day. My adoration for this timeless jewel was the inspiration for this poem. And my last poem is called Love's True Calling, and I wrote it as well in 2010. And the footnote for this one is: the rains of March, as well as the winds, can dampen any spirit. For me, March is a sad month, yet it also reminds us that spring is upon us, flowers will bloom, leaves will grow, life begins again. Or life begins anew. Spring also signifies love, and all the bliss that enraptures it. Such was the inspiration for this poem. I hope you enjoy it. My constant love is smiling, even though the rain is falling. The droplets on my window dance as though it is their calling. But you are far away this day. I know not where you are, though your voice calls in the wind, and your eyes glow in the stars. The years go by like fleeting clouds which float beyond the sunset, while softness of their gentle surface cradles all it touches, and mist, which hangs above the fields on mornings kissed with splendor, will disappear in sunlight's bliss, enraptured by its wonder. My thoughts reach out in hope to find you waiting there for me, among the moonlight's genteel charm beneath our favorite tree, your heart aglow with love so true that time will never lessen, for love that dwells within the soul is heaven's purest blessing. I feel your touch. It sings to me as though you're truly present, and bells still ring as fire burns outside the circle's crescent. For love's true calling finds its mark, and knows of its true measure, when hearts like ours have found their place within life's greatest pleasure. So, I hope you enjoyed that little what's the word I want? Interlude of poetry. And this book, if you're interested in this book, you can get it on Amazon. Just, Google impressions, or just even Google Rusty Blackwood. Go to Amazon, put Rusty Blackwood in your search bar, and all my work will come up for you. So, I'm just under the 30-minute mark, coming up to about 27 minutes, so I'm going to stop the video. And thank you all for joining me and enduring my throat here. And I will be back for St. Patrick's Day, if not before, but definitely for St. Patrick's Day. And I want to wish you all a very, very happy, sweet, and enjoyable Valentine's Day tomorrow. And make it what you want it to be. And even if you're with someone, definitely enjoy them to the hilt. And if you're on your own, like me, enjoy your own company, because you are worth it. So God's blessings to everybody, to each of you, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Stay well, everybody.